The Heckler Koch G36 is a 5.56A, 45mm assault rifle, designed in the early 1990s by Heckler Koch in Germany as a replacement for the heavier 7.62mm G3 battle rifle. It was accepted into service with the Bundeswehr in 1997, replacing the G3. The G36 is gas-operated and feeds from a 30-round detachable box magazine or 100-round C-Mag drum magazine. History, development, work on a successor for the venerable G3 rifle had been ongoing in Germany since the second half of the 1970s. These efforts resulted in the innovative 4.73mm G11 assault rifle, that used caseless ammunition. It had been predicted that this weapon would eventually replace the G3, therefore further development of H&K's series of firearms chambered for the 5.56x45mm NATO cartridge had been halted. Heckler & Koch, having no incentive to pursue a new 5.56mm weapon system, was content with the export-oriented HK-33 and G41 rifles. However, the G11 program came to an abrupt end when the Bundeswehr cancelled its procurement due to defense budget cuts after the unification of East and West Germany, and H&K was acquired in 1991 by British Aerospace's Royal Ordnance Division. Increasing interest in Germany for a modern service rifle chambered for the NATO standard 5.56mm cartridge led H&K to offer the German armed forces the G41 rifle, which too, was rejected. Design work was then initiated from the ground up on a modern 5.56mm assault rifle designated Project 50, or HK-50. The prototype was then trialed, where it was rated higher than the rival Austrian Steyr AUG system. Production: the HK-50 rifle was selected for service and an initial order was placed for 33,000 rifles under the Bundeswehr designation G36. The order also involved an option for a further 17,000 rifles. Deliveries were first made to the Bundeswehr's NATO Quick Reaction Force during the third quarter of 1997. The G36's production line began in 1996. In July 1998, it was announced that the G36 had been selected as the standard rifle for the Spanish Armed Forces, replacing the 5.56mm CETME Model L and LC rifles. Deliveries first took place at the end of 1999. These rifles are manufactured in Spain under license by General Dynamics Santa Barbara Sistemas at the FACO facility, in Corona, Galicia. In addition, the rifle has been licensed for local production in Saudi Arabia. The manufacturer in the country is the Military Industries Corporation. Technology transfer was granted by Germany to Saudi Arabia on June 30, 2008. The first Saudi-made G36 was made at MIC's factory on June 30, 2009. However, some components of their own G36s are supplied by Heckler & Koch. Design details: the G36 is a selective-fire 5.56mm assault rifle, firing from a closed rotary bolt. The G36 has a conventional layout and a modular component design. Common to all variants of the G36 family are, the receiver and buttstock assembly, bolt carrier group with bolt in the return mechanism and guide rod. The receiver contains the barrel, carry handle with integrated sights, trigger group with pistol grip, handguard and magazine socket. The G36 employs a free-floating barrel. The barrel is fastened to the receiver with a special nut, which can be removed with a wrench. The barrel is produced using a cold hammer forging process and features a chrome-lined bore with 6 right-hand grooves and a 1 in 178 on rifling twist rate. The barrel assembly consists of the gas block, a collar with a bayonet lug that is also used to launch rifle grenades, and a slotted flash suppressor. The weapon can be stripped and reassembled without tools through a system of cross pins similar to that used on earlier HK designs. For cleaning purposes, the G36 dismantles into the following groups: receiver housing, return mechanism, bolt carrier group and trigger group. Features: fire selector. The fire and safety selector is ambidextrous and has controls on both sides of the receiver. The selector settings are described with letters: a Euro OE ZAR Euro, a Euro safe, a Euro semi-automatic fire and a Euro continuous fire. The weapon safety disables the trigger when engaged. HK also offers several other trigger options, including the so-called a Marini Euro trigger group, with settings analogous to the standard trigger, but the selector positions have been illustrated with pictograms. A semi-automatic only trigger unit is also available. An integrated, manual safety mechanism prevents accidental firing. Magazine. The G36 feeds from proprietary 30-round curved magazines very similar to those of the Swiss SIG 550 with cartridges loaded in a staggered pattern. The magazines are molded from a high-strength translucent polymer and can be clipped together using built-in coupling studs into 2 or 3 magazine packs, allowing up to 5 magazines to be carried side by side on the rifle, ready for rapid magazine changes. The magazines are not compatible with NATO standard STINAG magazines, as introduced in the M16. However, the G36 can use a magazine adapter that will accept STINAG magazines. The G36 can also use Beta C mag drum magazines that have a 100-round cartridge capacity and are intended to be used primarily with the MG36 light support weapon. Stock. The MG36 variant is equipped with a side-folding skeletonized stock and a detachable folding bipod, which folds into recesses in the handguard. The G36 can be fired with the stock collapsed. The underside of the buttstock has holes into which assembly pins can be placed during weapon cleaning and maintenance. Material. The G36 employs a large number of lightweight, corrosion-resistant synthetic materials in its design. The receiver housing, stock, trigger group, magazine well, handguard and carry handle are all made of a carbon fiber reinforced polyamide. The receiver has an integrated steel barrel trunnion and the reciprocating parts move on steel rails molded into the receiver. Sights. The standard German Army versions of the G36 are equipped with a ZF-3X 4-degree dual optical sight that combines a 3X magnified telescopic sight and an unmagnified reflex sight mounted on top of the telescopic sight. The reflex sight is illuminated by ambient light during the day and uses battery-powered illumination for use at night. Electric illumination is activated automatically by a built-in photo sensor and can be manually activated to boost the brightness of the reticle in daytime low-contrast situations. The export versions have a single telescopic sight with a 1.5x magnification and an aiming reticule fixed at 300 mm. Albanian Lex rifles are adapted to use the Hensoldt NSA 83rd generation night sight, which clamps into the G36 carry handle adapter in front of the optical sight housing and mates with the rifle's standard optical sight. The sighting bridge also functions as a carrying handle and features auxiliary open sights molded on top of the handle that consist of a forward blade and a rear notch, but these can only be used with the reflex sight removed, as in the G36V. The optical sight system is produced by Hensoldt AG. Operating mechanism. The G36 is a gas-operated weapon that uses burnt powder gases from the barrel, bled through a vent near the muzzle which transmits the gas thrust to the bolt carrier, providing automation to the moving assembly. It fires from a closed bolt position. The weapon uses a self-regulating spring-buffered short-stroke gas piston system. The rotary bolt features 7 radial locking lugs and its rotation is controlled by a cam pin guided inside a camming guide cutout in the bolt carrier. The bolt also houses a spring-loaded casing extractor and an ejector. The bolt is automatically locked to the rear when the last round is expended, but the bolt catch can be deactivated. The bolt catch button is located at the forward end of the trigger guard. The spring-loaded folding cocking handle extends forward in line with the barrel of the rifle. It can be swung to either side of the receiver, depending on whether the user is right or left-handed, and is locked when pressed inward. When locked at a perpendicular angle to the receiver, the handle can be used as a forward assist to force the bolt into battery, or to extract a stuck cartridge casing. Spent cartridge casings are ejected through a port located on the right side of the receiver. A brass deflector keeps cases from striking left-handed operators in the face. There is no ejection port cover as the bolt closes the ejection port to particulates when it is forward. The weapon features a hammer-type striking mechanism. Accessories: the rifle can be fitted with a 40mm AG-36 underbarrel grenade launcher, which is a breech-loaded break-action weapon with a side-tilting barrel. Standard equipment supplied with the G36 includes spare magazines, a cleaning and maintenance kit, sling, speed-loading device and an AK-74 blade bayonet. Overheating: in April 2012, reports surfaced that G36 rifles used in Afghanistan would overheat during prolonged firefights after several hundred rounds were fired. Overheating affected the accuracy of the G36, making it difficult to hit targets past 100 meters, ineffective past 200 meters, and incapable of effective fire past 300 meters. The G36 has been called unsuitable for long battles. HK said the rifle was not designed for sustained, continuous fire. German soldiers gave no negative feedback. Operational commanders advised allowing the weapon to cool between periods of rapid shooting. In February 2014, the Federal Ministry of Defense announced that the overheating deficiencies of the G36 was not a result of weapon design, but of the ammunition. The manufacturer of the ammunition confirmed this, although experts disagreed. A report by the Bundeswehr on February 21, 2014, revealed that the issues were not the fault of the rifle, but that one manufacturer of ammunition was making bullets with copper-plated jackets that were too thin. On June 22, 2014, it was reported that Germania unregistered trademark's defense ministry has temporarily halted new orders worth of 34 million over the accuracy concern of the rifle. The Bundeswehr consulted the Ernst Mack Institute and the Federal Criminal Police Office. Variants: G36V, previously known as the G36E, it is the export version of the standard G36. The G36V has all of the characteristics of the standard rifle with the exception of the sight setup and bayonet mount. It is fitted with AX 1.5 or X3 sight and lacks the integrated reflex sight. The bayonet mount is a standard NATO type. This version was produced for Spain and Latvia. MG36, light machine gun version of the G36 equipped with a heavy barrel for increased heat and cook-off resistance. The MG36 and MG36E are no longer offered by H&K. G36K, carbine variant with a shorter barrel and a shorter forend, which includes a bottom rail that can be used to attach tactical accessories, such as a UTL flashlight from the USP pistol. The carbine's barrel lacks the ability to launch rifle grenades and it will not support a bayonet. The weapon retained the ability to be used with the AG-36 grenade launcher. G36Ks in service with German Special Forces are issued with a 100-round C-mag drum. There are two variants of the G36K. The first and most commonly known has X3 scope carry handle attached to the top, while the second is the one with the iron sights and rail. G36KV, export version of carbine variant, G36K with sights like G36V, G36C. This subcarbine model is a further development of the G36K. It is a shorter barrel than the G36K, and a 4-prong open-type flash hider. The extremely short barrel forced designers to move the gas block closer to the muzzle end and reduce the length of the gas piston operating rod. The handguard and stock were also shortened and the fixed carry handle was replaced with a carrying handle with an integrated MILS TD 1913 Picatinny rail. The dual optical sight found on the standard G36 and G36K models was replaced with a set of rail-mounted detachable iron sights that consist of a semi-shrouded front post and a flip-up rear sight with two apertures of different diameter. The short handguard has 4 accessory attachment points, one of which could be used for a vertical grip. G36A2, this is an ordnance designation allocated to an upgraded variant of the G36 used by the German Army. The G36A2 is equipped with a quick detachable Zauser SA reflex red dot sight mounted on a Picatinny rail that replaces the original red dot sight of the dual combat sighting system. The G36A2 upgrade kit also consists of the shorter G36C stock, new handguard made of aluminium with an optional 4 Picatinny rails and a vertical foregrip with an integrated switch for operating an Oerlikon Contraves LLM01 laser light module. Sporting models. Based on the G36, Heckler & Koch also created the semi-automatic SL-8 rifle and the straight-pull, bolt-action R8, which are offered to the civilian sport shooting markets. The SL-8 is substantially different from the G36. It has a modified receiver and a thumb hole stock with a cheek rest, which is integral with the trigger group. The SL-8 has a heavy profile, extended, 510 mm barrel that does not have a flash hider or bayonet lug. The rifle uses a 10-round single-stack magazine and an extended top rail used to mount a wide variety of Picatinny standard optics. Mounted to the rail are a set of iron sights with a hooded foresight and adjustable flip rear aperture. The SL-8 can also mount the G36 carry handle and integrated sight assembly, after removing the mechanical iron sights. The SL-8 has an unloaded weight of 4.3 kg, overall length of 980 euro 1030 mm and a trigger rated at 20 N. In November 2013, Heckler & Koch applied for permission from the German government to sell a new civilian legal version of the G36. Called the HK243 in Europe and the HK293 in America, it is more similar to the G36 assault rifle than previous civilian models. The main difference is the bolt is redesigned to not allow a conversion to fully automatic fire. It has quad Picatinny rails and accepts Stanag magazines. 4 different barrel lengths from 8.9 in to 18.8 in and 4 stock models will be offered. Users, Gallery. See also, AN94 Aberkan, Armalite AR-18/Sterling SAR-87, SG-550, KBSWZ. 1996 Beryl, M4 Carbine, Heckler & Koch HK416, Heckler & Koch SL8, Beretta ARX160, FX05 Xukotal, XM8 Rifle, M27 IAR, AK12, Table of handgun and rifle cartridges, references, notes. Bibliography. External links, Heckler & Koch Euro official site, Bundeswehr fact sheet, Bundeswehr Manual ZDV3/12 regarding small arms usage, 2008 Heckler & Koch Military and LE brochure, G36 in parts, Modern Firearms, Remtk, Official HK Instruction Video Part 1, Official HK Instruction Video Part 2, Official HK Instruction Video Part 3, a UAG Amotech fact sheet on German Army DAM 11 5.56 x 45 ammunition.